Hey fellow YouTubers, this is Matthew. Today we're going to be installing the lower control arms on my Mustang. And right behind me is the Mustang. I already jacked it up and put it on the stands. The tools you're going to need to install the lower control arms on the Mustang is going to be a grease gun. I picked this up at Pet Boys for about $10. You're going to need full synthetic grease for the polyurethane bushings. You need to have this from what I read on the forums. You're going to need a torque wrench that can at least go up to 130 foot-pounds. You're going to need a ratchet with an 18mm socket on it. You're going to need a screwdriver to pop the clips out for the brake line that's attached to the calipers. And then you're going to need some zip ties so that you can reattach the brake line to the new lower control arms once you put it back onto the caliper. Lower control arms are orientation specific, okay? The offset right here is going to be on the back end of the car and it's going to be pointed inside. Make sure that the grease ports are pointed down. So this control arm, this is going to be on the driver's side, pretty much installed just like that, okay? At the point, we're going to be greasing the outside of the bushings before we install it, and then when the installation is complete, we're going to use that grease gun and grease up the tips right here. And then we'll pretty much be done with the installation. Okay guys, this is going to be the OEM lower control arm. You kind of see the brake line right here going through it. So first thing we're going to have to do is take this clip off right here. Then we can yank this out of the caliper and kind of take it out. And that's going to be the first step. And then next we're just going to take these bolts off, okay, and then we'll just pull this out and we'll be ready to put in the lower control arm. It's going to be very important to do one side at a time, so either do your driver's side first or you can do your passenger side first, but basically put in the new one, torque it down, and then you can continue on to the next side. Okay, pro tip, to get this off the brake line, don't be a noob like me. You need to make sure that your emergency brake is off. Otherwise, this is going to have so much tension right up here that you can't slide it off this little bracket and just kind of like slide it through. Okay, got the first control arm taken off. You can kind of tell that the BMR control arm is a little bit beefier than this one. I think it's basically that these rubber bushings, just that they're not very solid, kind of, you know, causes that wall hop compared to these polyurethanes. Are kind of a little bit more rigid. So I think that's probably one of the main reasons why this eliminates wheel hop. Okay, right here we're going to be greasing this polyurethane bushing with the full synthetic grease. We need to put this grease on before we put it back onto the car. I do not have a grease brush with me that a lot of people have, so I just have some garage rags, which I just kind of dipped it in and just wipe it on. Okay, when putting back the lower control arm, just put the bolt in, but just kind of let it loose, because when you do this one, you need to make sure it's loose enough so you can kind of slip this other one in on the other end, okay? Okay, we got both control arms on now. Okay, next what we need to do is torque that bolt and the one up there, you know, both sides. We need to torque the bolt down to 130 foot-pounds. Once we get done torquing it, we're going to put the brake line back into the caliper, and then we're just going to zip tie it to the lower control arm. And then to finish it up, we're just going to get our grease gun, load it up, and then we're just going to basically put grease into these little nipples right here, grease up the bushings. Okay, to set the torque wrench, in case you guys don't know, all you have to do is kind of twist that handle, and it has a dial on it, you know, 0 through 9, but you kind of keep twisting it up until it maxes out. Well, not maxes out, but reaches to 130 foot-pounds, okay? That 0 should just line up right in the middle of that, and that knows you got the right torque. Once you get the bolts torqued down on your lower control arm, all you gotta do now is put the brake line back up top, right up here, and then kind of slide the brake line back in, and then use that clip retainer and slide it in on top of that, okay? And this is good to go. Then all we're gonna do is just get some zip ties and zip tie the brake line to the lower control arm, and then we'll be done with that step. And then the last step to do is grease the bushings. Okay, YouTubers, we just finished zip tying the brake line and greasing up those little brass nipples, so everything is good to go. This is pretty much the final product. Pro tip, what I noticed when I filled up the grease gun was when you put it on, you might have to kind of like keep going a little bit, I guess maybe purge out that grease gun a little bit, but then when you kind of start greasing up brass nipple, you'll kind of hear like, it sounds like a little air pops. And then I just kept going. You feel the resistance from that grease gun lever. And then you kind of know, you got enough grease in that. But and then when you take it out, you notice it kind of looks like a little bit of grease is coming out of that little ball. Well, then you kind of wipe it off and then it, seals up. That's how I know that we got enough grease in the bushings. Next video, we're going to be putting a paint handbar on from BMR. Just want to say thank you for watching, and please leave your comments below.